Hey everyone, welcome back to Get Good at Badminton. If you guys watched some of our other videos, you'll know that we frequently talk about the benefits of using pace changes to win your games. In today's men's singles, one of the best players at changing pace is Shi Yu Qi and his ability to hold and then change his shot last second. We're going to talk about this concept in today's video by analyzing his game against Anders Antonsen in the 2024 World Tour Finals and show you how you can control your opponents like Shi Yu Qi even if you're not super fast on court. We wanted to make this video because many players often fall into a trap of believing that the reason they're losing is simply because they're not fast or strong enough. Don't get us wrong, strength and speed is very important, but it's not everything. Let's look at Shi Yu Qi, for example. He's by no means slow, but there are numerous players that can move and play faster than he does. Yet, Shi Yu Qi is the one that's world number one, so it must mean that he's doing something right. When you study Shi Yu Qi, you should study how he plays his shots. What makes Shi Yu Qi so good is his ability to hold the shuttle and change his shot last second. Let's take a look at a few examples. The power of holding before hitting is it allows you to take control over the pace of the game. First, holding before hitting lets you stabilize the rest of your body and strengthens your ability to recover on the court. This is how Shi Yu Qi is often able to get away with taking the shuttle a little late and not being super fast on the court. And because you're in position, footwork naturally becomes easier, and it's much easier to control the game when you're not scrambling around the court. Second, holding your shot neutralizes your opponent's speed as it forces them to wait and react instead of moving to the next shot right away. Watch how Antonsen is pausing before moving when Shi Yu Qi holds versus when Shi Yu Qi doesn't hold. Of course, it's pretty easy to say that you must hold the shuttle before playing your shot. Executing this is much harder in reality. It'll take a lot of practice, but there are a few tips we can share. The general idea is to play the shots as closely to the shuttle as you can. This will make it extremely difficult for your opponents to read your shot. You can start by making sure your racket is always leading, meaning that the first thing you do when your opponent plays any shot is extend your racket toward the shuttle. This should be your first instinct even before your split step. The second tip is to hold your racket in a relaxed grip that allows you to play any shot without large pullbacks. With your pushes, for example, there generally shouldn't be a need to pull your racket back unless you're playing a deception of some sort. Generally, a quick flick using your wrist and fingers going forward is all you need. The goal is to be able to follow the shuttle with your racket and change your shot last second. Again, it'll take a lot of practice, but the difference between a player who has these holds and one that does not is immense.
Oi, that's a beauty.
These holds aren't limited to the front court either. While the front court holds are the most effective, holds in the backcourt are also heavily underrated. Shi Yu Qi seems to be one of the few men's singles players who uses backcourt holds a lot to good success. Watch how he hovers for a split second before hitting and the variety of shots he plays. You can see in these clips how Antonsen often doesn't punish Shi Yu Qi and has a hard time split stepping at the optimal time. Shot variety is really what separates Shi Yu Qi's holds from other players. You know, Antonsen himself is actually very good at holding before hitting his shots. The number of high-quality shots he can play when holding first, however, is more limited compared to Shi Yu Qi. For example, Antonson's late forehand is generally limited to the straight drive. Even if he holds, it's easy for other pros to read what shot is coming. Shi Yu Qi, on the other hand, often makes use of shots like clears and stop drops in combination with the drives to make it more difficult for his opponents to react.
Oh, well reached.
Building on variety, it's important to note that Shi Yu Qi's holds become far more effective because he mixes in shots where he hits immediately without holding. If you hold before hitting all of your shots, your opponent will eventually get used to your timing. That's why you must also vary your shots and sometimes hit right away. What's interesting with Shi Yu Qi, however, is that he will often hit right away maybe once or twice in a row before going back to using holds. We generally see that if he returns the shot right away multiple times in a row, he's usually following his opponent's rhythm and losing the rally.
Yeah.
The ratio of holds versus hitting right away will come down to who you are as a player. We often talked about playing fast to prevent your opponent from having options, but it does make your game more reliant of physicality. If your physical is not your strength, then you should study how Shi Yu Qi plays. For Shi Yu Qi, using holds more often is advantageous because speed is not his strength, especially with the injuries he has had. He doesn't want to push the pace all the time, and instead goes for the occasional speed up in pace to catch his opponents off guard. Of course, this is a style that's very reliant on shot quality and technique, but if you can master the holds, then you'll be able to neutralize your opponent's speed by forcing them to wait for you to hit your shot. The key is to have your racket out right away and be able to hit multiple shot options as close to your racket as possible without pulling back. As you master these holds, also make sure you're able to hit shots right away without holding so you can change the pace and keep your opponents guessing. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on our future content. Comment below on what you want to see next.